Rent-A-Center is set to pay millions back to Californians. The large furniture and electronics rental company is settling charges for allegedly making customers overpay to rent or purchase products. Tens of thousands of Californians who entered into a preferred lease agreement and rented merchandise with a Rent-A-Center kiosk are eligible to receive restitution or payments. On Tuesday, California Attorney General Rob Bonta announced a settlement with the company.
Today, I'm announcing a $15.5 million judgment, including over $13 million in restitution. That's money that will go back into the pockets of consumers, against Rent-A-Center, one of the largest rent-to-own companies in the nation.
Bonta said since 2014, the company overcharged preferred leased customers with a cash price that was 15% higher than retail.
Furnishing a home is expensive, we know that, and consumers often hope these rent-to-own agreements will lessen the cost, not realizing the total price they pay will end up being much higher.
The Attorney General's office said this was based on an investigation into its kiosks inside retail stores.
And beyond these extra costs, we allege that Rent-A-Center also misled consumers about the most fundamental aspects of their preferred lease products, such as the right to return merchandise at any time with no penalty.
The company did not admit wrongdoing in the settlement. According to its annual report, the company had over 2,400 stores in the United States, Puerto Rico, and Mexico at the end of 2021. The rent-to-own industry consists of dealers that rent household goods, such as furniture and appliances, at extremely high prices to low or moderate income consumers. Election observers will not be allowed to view the recall election of George Gascon.
According to officials, election observers won't be allowed to monitor the recall of embattled Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon. Michael Sanchez, the Los Angeles Registrar spokesman, told the Washington Observer that observers can participate in normal elections, but recalls have different requirements. He says that due to the California government code, which says petitions for ballot measures aren't public record. But Tim Lineberger, a spokesman for the recall campaign, told the paper that voters have the right to monitor the recall. Clearly, the examination of a recall petition is part of the recall process. This would be a very narrow interpretation on their part. He cited California Election Code 2300, which stipulates that Californians have the right to ask questions about election procedures and observe the election process. Earlier this month, the recall effort hit a key milestone and delivered over 715,000 signatures to the Los Angeles County Registrar's office. This exceeds the 566,000 signatures needed to put Gascon on the ballot for a recall election. The recall was triggered amid a wave of criticism against Gascon, who was elected in late 2020 and promised to bring progressive change to the district attorney's office. But top law enforcement officials and other critics say that he pursued a left-wing agenda while allowing repeat offenders as well as violent criminals back on the streets.
Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, pleaded not guilty to DUI charges on Wednesday. The judge wishes to continue the case later.
At Paul Pelosi's arraignment in Napa County Superior Court on Wednesday, Pelosi pleaded not guilty to DUI misdemeanor charges before Judge Monique Langhorne. Under California law, Pelosi can appear in court through his attorney on a misdemeanor case and does not have to be present in the courtroom unless ordered by a judicial officer. The Napa County District Attorney's Office filed charges against him after he crashed his Porsche while driving under the influence in Napa. He was arrested on May 28th and was charged with DUI. Law enforcement said he had a 0.08% blood alcohol level, which is above the legal limit. He could face up to 5 years of probation, a minimum of 5 days in jail, fines and fees, and other terms as appropriate.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi arrived in Taiwan despite condemnation from China. Chinese Americans are divided on the trip.
Some Chinese Americans applaud Pelosi's support for Taiwan and its democratically elected government, but others worry that her visit could worsen the U.S.-China relations.
There are 2 points of view in the community. Some are strongly pro-Taiwan and think that the U.S. demonstration of support for Taiwan is critical. Others are much more focused on better relations between mainland China and the United States, and view this visit as exacerbating that relationship and coming at a time that makes it more difficult.
Pelosi arrived in Taiwan late Tuesday, becoming the highest-ranking American official in 25 years to visit the self-ruled island claimed by China. She flew in aboard a U.S. Air Force passenger jet and was greeted at Taipei's International Airport by Taiwan's foreign minister and other Taiwanese and American officials. She posed for photos before her motorcade whisked her unseen into a parking garage of a hotel.
Well, I think this visit has been welcomed wholeheartedly by the people of Taiwan and the people in the Taiwanese government as well, and so should it be. I mean, I think when you have the representative of the world's most powerful democracy visit Taiwan, a fellow democracy, as a show of support for Taiwan, it is a very strong demonstration of solidarity. With the people there.
But China quickly announced that it would conduct military maneuvers in retaliation for her presence. There's tension because China claims Taiwan as part of its territory, and it views visits by foreign government officials as recognition of the island's sovereignty.
It could cause the economic picture to be even more gloomy than it already is, given the dependence on tourism and trade from China that this community has benefited from.
The speaker describes the trip as part of a broader mission at a time when the world faces a choice between autocracy and democracy. Her visit comes after she led a congressional delegation to the Ukrainian capital in the spring, and it serves as a capstone to her many years of promoting democracy abroad. The Biden administration did not explicitly urge Pelosi to call off her plans. It repeatedly and publicly assured Beijing that the visit did not signal any change in U.S. policy toward Taiwan. Pelosi kicked off her Asian tour on Monday in Singapore. She is to travel to Japan and South Korea later this week.
Since 2018, nearly all parents in San Francisco were able to vote in school board elections, including those who haven't become citizens yet. A judge recently ruled that this concept goes against California's Constitution. On Friday, a California judge overturned a San Francisco law from 2016 that allowed non-citizen parents to vote in local school board elections. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, the judge said the California Constitution only permits citizens to vote. San Francisco voters approved Proposition N in 2016, which allows non-citizen parents, such as illegal immigrants and legal residents, to vote for school board candidates. It took effect in 2018. In March 2022, attorney James Lacey filed a lawsuit against San Francisco over the law. The lawsuit said, quote, "The state of California has a long-standing requirement that voters must be United States citizens." SF Superior Court Judge Richard Ulmer ruled in favor of the lawsuit, saying that allowing non-citizens to vote is, quote, "contrary to the California Constitution and state statutes and cannot stand." The city may appeal and reinstate the ordinance. The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors voted unanimously last month to allow the county to hire non-citizens. This will influence all county jobs except law enforcement.
Los Angeles County has recently begun allowing the employment of non-citizens. Under the new so-called inclusive hiring policy, all county departments must waive the citizenship requirement for both current and future positions. Applicants to the Sheriff's Department and peace officers still have to be U.S. citizens. Hilda Solis, a Los Angeles County supervisor, said, quote, "Los Angeles County is a community of immigrants from each corner of the world." The move to change citizenship requirements started back in June 2021. That's when the board started the process to see if they had the authority to waive citizenship requirements. Los Angeles County had over 880,000 non-citizen residents in 2018.